To do today was allow people to see his heart for themselves and to make up their own minds about him. And they find out that he's not the person that the media has depicted him to be.
Are you endorsing?
I support Donald Trump, and everybody knows. Everybody knows. 100%.
All right, Donald, we've got some questions for you.
Hi, Mr. Trump, you've done great things in your life, and I just wonder, how do I, as an average person, begin?
Well, first of all, never think of yourself as average. You started off with the wrong question because you're not average. You've got a lot going. I see you're smart. I see you're very beautiful.
I know Donald forever. I like Donald very much.
Wonderful guy. I mean,
he is.
And he's miscast by the media. You know that.
I like Donald. He's got an enormous ego, but he's a good guy. He's got a big heart, by the way. He's very good to people. He's very kind to people.
People don't know that.
You just have to get that word average out of your vocabulary, and you have to tell yourself that you're great, and you have to believe it. If you can say it and don't believe it, it doesn't matter.
A kid that worked in the back.
Right.
I said, well, hey, how is Donald Trump? This is before he ran. This is months ago. He goes, unbelievable. He would come back to the kitchen and give $100 to the staff.
Yeah.
He would give these guys quietly. Nobody would know about that.
The fact is, I go down the streets of New York, and the people that really like me are the taxi drivers and the workers, etc., etc.
Also, his children. I know his son, Eric. I've met him a couple of times. He's a great kid.
They're great.
They're great kids.
Yeah.
You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I mean, he's real. That's all we need.
I like his ideas. Those are real letters. Those are not corporate letters. Those are not letters from Exxon.
These are handwritten.
From the Smith Radio Studios, it's Carrie and Brian Smith. This is Smith Radio. You can tweet at Smith Radio, SMYTH Radio. And now, your host, Carrie and Brian Smith.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is the first time you've been on the show, I greatly apologize. I am running solo. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. Sorry about all that feedback. I guess you guys were hearing it double time. Okay, so this is Smith Radio, and I don't know what's going on. I don't have my Mr. Producers out, and I'm running solo today, and the levels are just out of control. Anyways, folks, my name is Brian Smith. I'm the co-host of Smith Radio, along with my cousin Carrie Smith, who is he's just really, really, really sick. It's like one of those Ferris Bueller day off. We're going to pass the cup around to try and get him a kidney or something. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Carrie isn't that bad off, but he definitely is ill and not feeling well. So if you could keep him in your prayers tonight, and hopefully he gets better really, really soon. And if you can see today, I'm wearing our new #WalkAway t-shirts. We got them in the mail just on Saturday. I am absolutely thrilled to be a part of the #WalkAway movement. And if you folks know, I've never been a liberal or a Democrat, or at least self-identified as one, but I was at one point in time in my life a victim. I claimed victimhood status, so you might as well have said that, well, I guess you were a Democrat if you're claiming victimhood status. Pretty much if you do, you are. But anyway, so this is Military Veteran Talk Radio. We go live every Sunday evening, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Follow us at Smith Radio, SMYTH, and follow me on Twitter at Brian P. Smith. Just real quick about, back in the 90s, I was in the Air Force, and back in the 90s, my cousin Carrie was in the Marine Corps. We've been doing this show. This is our 5th year, and our first year of doing it video along with audio. Originally, it was just audio only. And thanks to our Patreons, I got to give a shout out to the Patreons. There was a Patreon this week that upped his Patreon, how much he's given, and I thank you so much. I am very, very grateful, and I know Carrie is very grateful. We talk about it all the time. We are currently building a new studio in the basement of this facility. And the reason why we're doing that is because my wife and I are completed our fostering parent classes. And so we need to make the studio into a bedroom, back into a bedroom. And so the studio needs to go somewhere else. So I've been working diligently. For those of you that are Patreons and part of our Smith Radio meetup group, our private message group, and if you want to be a part of that, just jump on smithradio.com and become a Patreon. You'll be in our Smith Radio meetup group. For those of you who've seen pictures of some of the comings along of the studio and how things are progressing, my father came by yesterday and kind of helped out a little bit, so it was really awesome. I appreciate that, Dad. Dad listens to the show on audio only on iHeart. Well, you can get it through Spreaker, but forget about that. It's the misspelling of speaker. Go to the website, smithradio.com, and you can hit the audio button. Or if you like surfing on iHeartRadio, you can find us on iHeart.smithradio.com, or just search Smith, put a space, radio, Smith space radio in iHeartRadio, and we will be live, or not live, but we will be syndicated there on iHeartRadio, so you can listen to us audio only throughout the week. Normally we go 3 hours, 3 straight hours when Carrie is here. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give you the real news, the real information. I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to tell you what happened this week. I'm going to wrap it all up. I got a couple of points that I really, really want to hammer home to you folks. One of them is the #WalkAway movement. I can't even begin to stress how real this is. And I'm also going to talk about the midterms coming up here in a couple of weeks. Folks, we're within a couple of weeks of the Am I too loud? I'm blasting people. Folks, we're within a couple of weeks of the midterms. And so I just want to make an absolute point to let you guys know that Mr. Producer's messing with the audio. How critical it is to get out and vote. And here's the thing, too. You want to talk to people. Don't talk to Democrats. Don't talk to Democrats. If you talk to a Democrat, you're going to be beating your head up against the wall. It's going to be like a fly hitting the window. Don't talk to Democrats about these things. I mean, maybe in passing, if it's a moderate Democrat, somebody that shares your views on a certain point. There's a soccer mom that I talked to about a specific, and I've mentioned this before, but I just want to let you know. There's a soccer mom who claims that she's a socialist, a liberal socialist, and she has children of her own. I really don't think she understands the word liberal socialist because it's so bad. I mean, you might as well move to Venezuela. But there was a call in soccer that says you're not allowed. There's a rule in our league for our girls playing soccer. There's a rule in the league that says you're not allowed to score more than 6 points. Otherwise, the coaches are reprimanded and could be suspended, action be taken against them. And she agreed with me on that common ground that that's really, really wrong. And so I've just been talking to her on and off, not about politics, but just letting her know the type of person I am. She already knows that I'm a Trump supporter. I just want to let her know the kind of person that I am. Same way with this guy that I refer to as Gen X. I let him know the kind of person that I am. And hopefully maybe one day something else will happen. It'll get triggered, seed will be planted. But I'm not here to slay the dragon and change every Democrat. That's not my job. My job right now is to find those who voted for Donald Trump, those who Trump supporters, those who love Donald Trump or even just liking that voted for him. Make sure they're voting midterm. They've got to vote midterm. I just got to. I've got stuff, some stories in the stack of stuff here where the Democrats have already listed out what they're going to do. And the number one thing is, if they take back the House, they're going for impeachment. Unconstitutional impeachment of Donald Trump. And you're like, Brian, how can they go for impeachment? Well, the same way they went for, Republicans went for impeachment on Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton lied on the stand, though. Bill Clinton actually violated, and he lied on the stand, but he lied about having sexual relations with an intern. Yes, that's illegal, but y'all humiliated the hell out of a man and his family and his whatever. It turns out he's a serial rapist. He's got all kinds of problems. But here's the thing. That's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump ain't done nothing wrong. You can indict a ham sandwich, folks. But I'm just saying, Donald Trump has done nothing that's impeachable. Bill Clinton did, and even as small as it was, the House impeached him, the Senate didn't go for removal. So all the Democrats have to do is impeach Trump for whatever reason. They just take a vote on it and they impeach Trump. Okay, he's been impeached. Now what's the next process? Now we got to humiliate the Senate, guilt them into then pushing for removal. And you're like, well, Brian, but Mike Pence is still in. I know. But they don't care. They're seeing Donald Trump as the wrecking ball of wrecking balls. He is absolutely wrecking the system. He's tearing it down from the ground. It's unbelievable, folks. I didn't think in our lifetime we would ever be able to see and Donald Trump's not a politician. But I didn't think in my lifetime we would ever see a politician that we wouldn't call a crook. We all know there's something wrong with every single damn one of them, and we always vote for the lesser of two evils. We know this. Well, they tried to play that with Trump. Trump is completely different. We know that. All of a sudden now we've got Democrats that are seeing that. We've got the hashtag walkway movement that has been epic. Folks, this movement has been enormous. We're starting to see all kinds of people talking about walking away from the Democrat Party. All kinds of great Americans, those that have been Democrat supporters in the past, those that have went both ways, either Republican one time, Democrat one time. They're starting to see this. And when we had special guest Brandon Strucker on the show, that the leader, the head of the guy who got this momentum started, a gay man, former Hillary Clinton supporter. Hillary Clinton voted for Hillary Clinton and then realized one day, had a paradigm shift and woke up and said, man, I've been lied to. And so then all of a sudden he's like, I got to take a different course. I got to start doing my own due diligence. These people are lying to me. So he starts the movement, hashtag walk away, which couldn't have been more pinnacle. to the winning of the midterm election, along with the Brett Kavanaugh thing, where we're seeing now Brett Kavanaugh hearings, or not the hearings, but the Brett Kavanaugh interview before the confirmation. The Democrats acted like Antifa, and the Peter Strzok hearing, which the Democrats acted like Antifa. I mean, they literally have embodied the anti-fascist, which is just projection for fascism, the Antifa movement. That is who the Democrat Party has become, and they're pushing for impeachment. They're pushing for banning ICE. They're pushing for all the no borders, open borders. And James O'Keefe this week, folks, if you don't know James O'Keefe, and I know there might be some older folks or some seasoned veterans that are listening to the show that aren't savvy on the social media, like the YouTubes and the Twitters. But if you aren't, you need to get onto the YouTubes, at least bare minimum, and find James O'Keefe, O-K-E-E-F-E, James O'Keefe, Project Veritas. Project Veritas this week is exposed. It's destroyed Claire McCaskill out of Missouri, destroyed her. How did he destroy her? Undercover video of her saying in her own words, yeah, hell yeah, I'd ban bump stocks, I'd ban guns, I'd ban this, I'd ban that. No border wall, no none of that. I mean, just absolutely blowing her up. Also got Claire McCaskill's staff. All of her staff have her. James O'Keefe has her entire staff speaking about all these different ideologies that she can't speak of in Missouri because she wants to be seen as a moderate Democrat. You go to Claire McCaskill's website, there is no mention of Democrat Party. The only thing you get is the blue color hue of the Democrat Party. And that's enough for me to make me kind of run for the hills. If you've got that blue hue, I'm walking away. So if you're a Republican, don't do that. Don't go with the blue hue. You got to stay with the red Republican colors. Anyway, so Claire McCaskill busted on abortion. She's all in for abortion. She's all in for open borders. She's all in. And her staffers say Claire McCaskill out of Missouri aligns her ideologies 100% aligned with Barack Hussein Obama. But she can't speak about him because she wouldn't get reelected. Yes. So we got a new guy coming up out of Missouri. I apologize if I'm wrong. I think it's Josh Hawley coming up out of Missouri. I think he's got a great chance of winning this. We got Michelle Blackburn. She's pulling ahead. She's got a great chance of winning hers as well. We've got Republicans across the country poised to take a lot of these seats back from Democrats. Hopefully we don't lose any, but to take more back from the Democrats in the House. A handful of folks have told me that we're poised to take at least maintain what we have and take back more. Some of the polls that are all, the polls are fake news, folks. The polls are fake. They were right about Donald Trump, weren't they? Well, I've got some stuff in the stack that shows there is a real way to gauge. There's a real way to gauge voter win, whichever way you're going to win, whether it be Republican or Democrat, who's going to win. We've got a really good, solid way of tracking that and figuring that out, and I'm going to expose that and talk to you guys about that tonight as well. We've got some great, phenomenal news about the economy, Donald Trump's economy. Folks, this is the greatest economy we've ever seen in the history, in the 242 years of America. In the history of America, this is the greatest booming economy we have witnessed in our lifetimes and in the entire country. This is booming. It's firing on all cylinders, and it's not stopping whatsoever. It's gaining traction. It's gaining momentum. It is just booming, booming, booming. I've got the numbers. We've got Donald Trump talking about the next 2 years, his goals and where we're headed. That's exciting. When we're talking about these midterms in 2018, if you're a Democrat and you're listening to the show and you jumped on the show so you could start blasting people, why don't you listen to some facts and figures and use some critical thinking and really start to question both sides, question your side and question Trump's side. You got to do that. Question your side. What does the Democrats, what can they run on? More jobs? You can. Donald Trump is running on jobs, not mobs. How is that possible? Democrats, how is that possible? You have utterly failed so bad that the president is going around the country holding rallies to the tune of 77,000 people registered to go to the rally with Ted Cruz and Donald Trump in Texas. 77,000 people registered to go to that. And I think the venue only held 17,000, maybe even less than that. But I'm just telling you, when you've got these venues, I went to the one here up in Lebanon, Ohio. I guaranteed there was 10,000 people there. And that's out in the middle of nowhere. It is out in cornfield, out in the middle of nowhere, 49 minutes outside of Cincinnati. And I'm just telling you, it's in the middle of nowhere, and 10,000 people came. It was like that movie, If You Build It, They Will Come. I swear to you folks, the rows and rows of cars in the middle of Ohio just to get a glimpse of Donald Trump. That's why I got my new red MAGA meetup, or my red MAGA hat. You absolutely got to get one. If you don't feel like donating to the GOP, at least go to Donald J. Trump's website and hit the shop button and go shopping. Buy something. If you're like, oh, I don't want to buy anything, I don't want anything here, well, buy it and send it to me, and then I'll donate it to some of our Patreons on our Patreon account. I'll pull a name out of a hat, and I'll give a lucky recipient some MAGA gear. That's how you can help Donald Trump. I agree with you. I find it very difficult to donate money to the GOP, even to this day. I'm very skeptical of Lindsey Graham. I'm very skeptical of the Rhino Republicans. They're still there. They still have their ideologies. They're starting to see, though, that re-election comes with Donald Trump. Re-election comes with Donald Trump. Trump was, the past 3 months, 9 for 9. And I think across the country, he's just absolutely slam dunking. Also got some great news, too. Donald Trump has just passed a milestone with the Senate and confirming and putting into place more justices across the country than any other president in history, whether it be 8 terms or 4 terms, regardless. Donald Trump is putting in play. And why is that so important? Because that's where you get these crazy liberal Democrats that want to go ahead and agree and say that Donald Trump has no authority when it comes to immigration. Well, that's liberal judges legislating from the bench, and that's absolutely illegal. That is not how our system is set up. Our system is set up at checks and balances, not where the judiciary dictates to the executive branch or the executive branch dictates to them. That's not how this works, folks. And that's why we got to get these liberal activist judges out. That's why you have to walk away, MAGA, Make America Great Again, and walk away from the Democrat Party. We are absolutely going to crush them. In 2 weeks, we're going to crush the Democrat Party in 2 weeks if we vote like we know we're supposed to vote. We got to get out there and vote. We got to talk to our friends and family and vote. So while I'm talking about that, #walkaway movement, here's a story. Here's a walk away story from a liberal Democrat. I mean, a die-in-the-wool Democrat that was all in for Barack Obama, that got involved with Barack Obama's campaign, making phone calls, going door to door, knocking on doors. She was all in. She was making it happen, and you got to hear her walk away story. Check this out.
My name is Lucretia Hughes, and this will be my walk away story. I've been seeing a lot of people out there in the United States giving their testimony of one of the reasons why they left the Democratic Socialist Party of America. That's their new name for me. I understood and realized that the Democrats was not the type of party that I need to be affiliated with, was when they went against everything that I was raised upon. I always tell people my story started when I was 15 and I had my very first son. By the time I was 20, I had my 4th child. I have lived in the projects. I have been on every entitlement program probably out there, but it took me until the age of 25 to wake up. You know, I was heavily in the Democratic Party and helping out Democrats when I was in my 20s. because that's the only thing I knew to do. I mean, that's all I knew, being who I was you stick with Democrats because you're black. So I didn't know any better. When I started really paying attention, and I always say I give Barack Obama credit where credit is due. He woke me up to the point of getting me more active in politics and stumping for him and getting out there and knocking on doors and making sure I got his word out. So that made me kind of wake up and realize that, okay, first we got our first very true person, African-American, that is going to change the world and give us hope and change. And I fell into all of that at that time because I didn't know any better. And then I started waking up to the fact that he woke me up to paying attention to politics, but it woke me up to watching him. My real parents, they always taught me about the Democrats is that, you know, they're for the people. They are for the people. You know, they're for the people. The white man is going to keep you down. You know, it's always that mentality. And I started thinking, it's like, wait a minute. I have 4 kids. I have walked life. Why am I associated with a party that is not really helping out the black community at all? And then I went to a meeting and asked, could I run for office for my community? Because I saw a lot of things happening in the black community that I did not like. And they said I had to wait my turn. Excuse me, what do you mean I have to wait my turn? That means that it's not my time within the Democratic Party because I can't kowtow down to what they have to push out there. That kind of gave me up all hope until Barack Obama. But when he started paying more attention to the wrong things that my parents taught me was wrong to begin with, when the Democratic Party booed God, couldn't do it. When they disrespected our elders, I couldn't do it. When they was passing taxes that I couldn't afford, I couldn't do it. When they started putting Common Core in schools, I couldn't do it. It made me walk away. And I was wondering where the vitriol and the hatred came from and why it was directed because someone don't believe like you believe. I couldn't do it anymore. And I had to walk away. I'm not saying Mitt Romney or John McCain was the way to go because I'm at the grassroots level. I love being a Republican and I love being a Tea Party. There's no vitriol or hate over here. There's no racism or racist people over here that I have personally came up against. I'm sure they might be closets, but they've never told me anything differently. No, the white man is that bad. No, the white man's not that bad. You can't have that mentality that the Democratic Party and the Democratic Socialists of America have towards the foundation of America. Ever since I switched parties, I've saw a big difference when it comes to the Democratic style of leadership and when it comes to the Republican style of leadership. Majority of the time, it's the two same faces on each side of the coin. But my side ain't spitting hatred every single day. My side isn't dividing the United States of America. My side loves that flag. My side loves the Constitution. My side loves the Bill of Rights. And I love my president. I always said, you know, I walked away a long time ago. I just got louder and bolder. And I'm going to need everybody that's out there walking away. The people that are on the fence, that don't know what side they want to be on. Talk to someone that's differently from you. You'll figure it out. If you love this nation and you love the Pledge of Allegiance, you already know the Democrats is not where you want to go. If you're tired of overbearing regulations, then you ought to know the Democrats isn't the way you need to go. If you want more money in your paycheck, the Democratic Party is not the way you want to go. If you want to save our nation, the Democratic Party is not the way to go. Hashtag walk away. Matter of fact, it's coming to a point that it's time to say hashtag run away. Right now, in almost every major city, they're complaining about something. And they've been complaining for a very long time. So who is going to get hurt this time? Hashtag walk away. What property is going to be destroyed this time? Hashtag walk away. Which legislator is going to say go out there and attack, harass, surround someone else? Hashtag walk away. When will the major cities get their stuff together and the killings stop? Hashtag walk away. When will the ghettos be able to see that we ain't the bad guys here? Hashtag walk away. If you need somebody to talk to, drop a comment. I guide you. Pay it forward. And I'm paying it forward. So on this note, these shirts says it all. She's on top. And all the rest of the leadership is on this. So before I allow my country to become a third world shithole, I hashtag ran away. So now it's time for you. Run far, far, far away. Because that's not the party that represents the United States of America. So that was my hashtag walk away. But I've had 25 years of hell that'll give you more reasons that you need to run away. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And God bless you if you're watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Get the t-shirt.
It's all about. Oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. That's what it's all about, folks. I'm telling you right now, people like that who have just been sick and tired. If you know somebody that's just been sick and tired of being sick and tired, I mean, think about that, folks. The Democrat Party has been running the same agenda, the same ideologies. They've been saying the same thing for the past 150 years. This is unbelievable how they are still allowed to be an actual party in this country, how somebody hasn't taken that party over and gone the right way with it. They've been hijacked by the communists and gone the wrong way with it. I mean, go all the way back to the 1830s when the Democrat Party was founded. And you go back to the Jim Crow, the KKK to intimidate, gaining more power and more power and more power. This is what it's all about, the Democrat Party. And speaking of, she mentioned violence. Speaking about that, my mom, I ran into her. Folks, I was late for the show today, but I was at the kids' soccer game. They're going for state. They're trying to win state. There's 4 games they need to win, 4 straight to win the state title. They won their first one today. So good job, girls. They're 9 and 10. Karen Bailey, give a shout out to my little girls. Great job. You had a phenomenal game. A lot of teamwork, a lot of talking to each other, and a lot of having fun. They had a lot of fun. So, but my mom made the comment to me at the game. She's like, you got to be careful what you say. I said, what do you mean? I said, when you're on that show and you're talking, you got to be careful what you say and who you have on your show. I said, well, why? I still don't understand what you mean. I said, when the comments, the people in the comments are people that say that I want to kill you, you should die. And I'm like, don't listen to that knucklehead stuff. I'm just not even fazed by it. But think about it, though. Think about all the hate and the anger that's been coming out. And what party is that coming out of? Go all the way back to Charlottesville, folks. I said it here first. I said it here on this show first. It's the first time that in this entire run-up with Donald Trump, it's the very first time that I called Donald Trump out as being wrong. Not that he lied, but he was wrong in Charlottesville. He said there's hate on both sides. Donald Trump, if you're listening, I'm here to tell you, man, you're wrong. There's hate on one side. Lots of it. It's on the Democrat Party side. And I know there's a lot of people out there that call it the Democratic Party. I talked to some folks this week, and they said, why does Dinesh D'Souza use the word Democratic Party? Well, I know it's not the Democratic Party, it's the Democrat Party, but I believe Dinesh D'Souza does that on purpose because that's what the Democrats call themselves. They call themselves the Democratic Party. So with that being said, pray for the safety of our country, pray for the safety of our leaders, pray for the safety of Barack Obama wherever he is. Barack Obama missing in action. You know things are bad, folks. You know things are really bad when Barack Hussein Obama is not attempting to ride the coattails of a blue wave. You know if there was a blue wave out there, and I'm getting into the numbers now, y'all. You know if there was a blue wave out there and it was coming, you know Barack Hussein Obama would get up on the surfboard and ride that wave as far as he could ride it. Where is Waldo? Where's Barack Hussein Obama? Where is he at? He ain't nowhere, y'all. He ain't nowhere to be found because he doesn't want his name being tagged with the epic loss and the epic fail that will be the Democrat Party in just a couple of weeks. Seriously, and I'm going to get into the numbers and why, but here's the biggest reason why Donald Trump came out and talked about this, did a little PSA, if you will, posted this up on Twitter. This is Donald Trump talking about the Democrat Party and talking about what is going on with the Democrat Party. And here he is.
The Democrats don't like being called an angry mob, but really, that's what they've become. They've gone so far left, they can't even believe that they're over there. They don't know what's going on. When you listen to Eric Holder talking about kicking.
When they go low, we kick.
Or Hillary Clinton saying what she said, which was so horrible.
You cannot be civil.
They just don't see it. Maxine Waters constantly, day in and day out, ranting and raving.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome.
They're losing it, and they shouldn't be. We should be a unified country. It'll happen someday.
See, that's come on, think about that. If you're a Democrat on this scope and you're trying to on the show and you're trying to troll somebody, you're trying to make fun of some kind of conservative Christian Tea Party personnel. If you're trying to tear us down, think about what he just said, and don't just call him a liar. He's lying. Don't just say he's lying. You can't come at me with that every single time. He's lying. He's lying. No, stop it with the lying stuff. What is he saying? He's saying that the hate and the vitriol that the Democrat leaders are spewing out, all the hate, has to stop. Can you agree with me on that point that hate has to stop? Can you say that? Can you and I come together on common ground? I'm talking to you, Mr. Liberal, Mrs. Liberal, Mrs. Feminist. I'm talking to you. Can we come to a common ground where we can say together, stop the hate. No more hate, no more anger. Stop it. Let's have a nice conversation. We can disagree with ideas and we can talk about those ideas and where they end up at. If you sat down, I was talking with my daughter this morning about this. I said, if you sit down with a liberal and I try to explain them something, they're going to get triggered within the first couple of sentences and walk away and just shut down. Just not even entertain a new idea. And my big thing is too, folks, if you see somebody and you know somebody, and don't ask them this, but ask them in your own mind and imagine what they would say. Ask them, is there a possibility you could be wrong? And if you can think that their answer would be anything other than, well, it's possible, I could be wrong. If it's anything other than that, they might be a liberal and you might not be able to get to them. Because all the ones that I've run into, and I put this to the test on every single one of them, all the libs that I've tried to talk to, the Socialist Democrats of America, DSA, if you try and talk to them, ask them, say, do you think there's a possibility you might be wrong? Because I question myself and I back it up with fact. And that's why I know Donald Trump's not wrong. Not only that, but it's like we're at halftime. These midterms, 2018 is halftime for like a football game. Not the NFL. I'm talking college. We still got a ban on the NFL. I know Cincinnati's playing tonight. The Bengals are playing tonight against Kansas City. Somebody told me about that at the soccer game. I swear to you, I didn't know it before then. And my millennial at work told me the rookie quarterback for Kansas is doing darn good. So Cincinnati might not do so well tonight, but we got great weather here in Cincinnati, great football weather here in Cincinnati. So fingers crossed. That being said, anyway, so I'm just saying, if it's possible that you could be wrong, is it possible you could be wrong? And so I go to find the facts, go do your due diligence, and try and find something that doesn't work or doesn't equate. If you don't know, then you got to find leaders. You have to find well-known, established individuals. Prager University, Dennis Prager, Mark Dice, a lot of fact with Mark Dice. Tucker Carlson, a lot of fact. You're like, Brian, those are all conservative, Tea Party shills for Donald Trump. No. Hold on, y'all. If you listen to Mark Dice will put fact to the ground. It will lay the facts out. And it's impossible. You cannot argue. You can argue with fact. And you could also not pay your taxes. I'm just saying, if you argue with facts, you're going to wind up running into a problem. Just like not paying your taxes. You're going to wind up running into a problem. So the point is, find your facts. When the liberals are running on sexist, bigot, homophobe, when they're running on open borders, they're running on ban ICE, they're running on no rule of law. Do you understand the party that you are associated with, Mr. and Mrs. Democrat? The party that you're associated with is now the party that's against the rule of law. Do you really want that? You really want the party that's against rule of law? I know, it's fact. I know, and it hurts your head sometimes. But you really got to get with it. You got to come to terms, come to grips with it, and understand it's time to walk away. So with that being said, we did that with Trump, and then this is the new GOP. The GOP, as somebody in the good old party, somebody in the GOP and the RNC has really got it together and are really starting to make things happen. Some great videos are coming out of the GOP. And when I say great videos, they're great videos in the sense that they are exposing what is really going on. The sides have been no more divided than they are now. They're as divided as I've ever seen them in my entire life. How did they get there? And why are they divided? I'll tell you why they're divided, because we're the party of law and order. You guys have become the party of the resistance, the party of fight and scream and yell and protest, and it's insanity. Set cars on fire. What are y'all doing? Y'all like children running around with temper tantrums at 4.5 years old. And I hate to say that to put down 4.5-year-olds, because I got a 4.5-year-old boy, Grant, my little man. I got a 4.5-year-old. And I'll tell you what, you Democrats put on more temper tantrums that make him look like an angel. I'm for real. I actually got a good kid, but I'm just saying, you guys are worse than a 4.5-year-old by far. Breaking windows, the paint, the tagging of the GOP not the headquarters, but one of their local offices, tagged it up, vandalized. Really? Is this so you think this is going to win? So you think independent voters are going to be excited to vote for you because what you're doing is violent and wrong? No, independents aren't like that. They don't like anything like that, want nothing to do with that. So here's the GOP putting out an ad. I'm loving it. I've been playing them here on the show as often as I possibly can. This is the GOP. It's just 1 minute and 30 seconds, a quick ad. Here, let's get that up. And, all right. Yep. We have two choices on November 6th. The GOP's America.
We are in an economic boom that most folks thought was impossible. We have penetrated the 1% to 2% so-called secular stagnation zone.
Average hourly earnings up by 2.8%.
Near record levels of consumer and business confidence.
The second quarter GDP growth is impressive, 4.1%.
The lowest unemployment rate since December of 1969.
The American core economy is on fire. It's on fire like it was in the 60s.
Or the left's America.
And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Tortured live on Facebook.
They go low, we kick.
Stand down! All free! All free! All free!
That's when civility can start again.
Jobs, not mobs. Jobs, not mobs. Hillary Clinton said that's when civility can begin, when they take over the... So you're telling me that, Mr. Democrat, Mrs. Democrat, you're telling me that I'm supposed to be voting for Democrats because that's when you'll stop the violence? So you're telling me I have to vote Democrat for you to stop the violence? I'm serious. Think about that. Think about what you're saying. You're telling me, Mr. Democrat, you're telling me that your violent ways of attacking innocent Trump hat-wearing, T-shirt having John Doe, Anytown, USA, you will stop bloodying and bludgeoning our skulls in. We'll stop bleeding. You'll stop the tagging. You'll stop the name calling. You'll stop it all if I vote for you. Hashtag walk away. Hashtag walk away. We will not be bullied into voting for you. It's about ideas and ideologies. It's our core beliefs and what we raise our children on. See, you guys can't do a show like this. And the reason why you can is because your ideologies are not your core ideologies. It's regurgitation. It's what somebody has given you and told you to say. That's the NPC crowd, the non-player computer crowd, the NPC crowd. That's what you guys have become. You've become a mindless drone that's regurgitating what your platform is saying. You're like, oh, Brian, you're regurgitating your platform, what your platform is saying. No, it's our core beliefs. It's what we believe in to our soul. It's the belief in our church, our community, our family, our friends, to help one another. Speaking about that, I've been meaning to mention this, folks. When I lived in Los Angeles, I lived there for about 10 years. When I lived in Los Angeles, if I went to the Home Depot or like a grocery store or something, and I saw somebody that was finished with their cart, loading their car up, I'd walk up to them just out of, it's easy. I walk up to them and say, hey, can I grab your cart? Take it for them so they don't have to walk. It's just a nice gesture. Every single time I walked up to somebody in L.A., just started walking at them, even when I had two little girls with me. And I would say, hey, excuse me, can I? And they'd be like, no, I don't want any. No, I have no money. I'm like, ma'am or sir, I just want your card. Take it, be gone with you. Like, damn, man, what's wrong with you all? What's wrong with you all? It's bad out there. You've been run by Democrats and you got run in the ground. I'm here in Cincinnati. And I go to the Home Depot here locally. I told you we're building a new studio down in the basement. And again, I want to give a shout out to our Patreons. I thank you very, very much for all that you do to help Smyth Radio become a much better studio, better equipment. Because of you Patreons, we're able to go to that hashtag walkaway movement march in DC. That's here next weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Carrie and I will be in DC next weekend for the hashtag walkaway movement with Brandon Strucka. It is going to be phenomenal. I am absolutely excited about it. But here in Cincinnati, I go to a Home Depot and I got like big sheets of drywall and I got them on the cart and I'm pushing them to my truck. 3 times, all 3 times I've went and gotten drywall at the Home Depot, all 3 times. I've had an older gentleman or a middle-aged gentleman, and one time I had 2 employees. I know that's what they're supposed to do, but let me tell you, Home Depot ain't the nicest of people sometimes. You know, they go find a place to hide, or they tell you the wrong place to go if they don't know, and they'll walk away from you. So I'm just saying, all 3 times I was asked, hey, let me help you with that, buddy. All right, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. The guy parked in a handicap spot. Must have been a liberal. Because he asked, can I help you with the drywall? So he's parked in a handicap spot, and he walks over to help me lift sheets of drywall. How handicapped are you, man? But that's all right. If you vote Republican, I'm cool. Do whatever you want. I don't want to go down the road of the handicap signs and how awful that is. I beat that up one time on a scope. I'm not going back there. Oh, my goodness. But anyways, I want to give a shout out to our patrons. I thank you very, very much for helping us do what we do. And real quick, before I forget, I've got this orange soda bottle. I'm asked about this every so often. This orange bottle of soda, for those of you in the video, you can see it. It's just a glass bottle with orange soda inside it. It's got a hammer and sickle on the front of it, and it's called Leninade. Leninade. Join the party. Get hammered and sickled. A taste worth standing in line for. Yes, folks, we leave this here on the show, and you just see the tip of it, just the tip of it, so it's not to advertise for it. But whenever you see that orange little cap, that orange little bottle, that's to remind you, folks, that's how close communism is. It's knocking at our door every day. And if we don't take a stand, and we don't fight back against the bullying, the hate mongering, the fear mongering, all this anger, if we don't stand up to this and say no more, and I'm not saying fight back in the sense that you punch them back. I'm saying stand your ground. We no longer will be kowtowed down in the corner. You will not shove us in a corner. You will not silence us, Jack. You will not silence us, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook, the Zuckerbergs of the world. You will not silence us. Now we've got news coming out here, folks, that Congress is actually looking at doing something against the big giants, the YouTubes, the Twitter and the Facebook. They need to be classified just like the newspapers are classified and regulated. They need to be in some sort of some kind of category to where they are absolutely restricted from the shadow banning, the shutting down, the deleting of conservative accounts. They were deleting tens of thousands of conservative accounts here recently, some with 100,000, some with 1 million followers. And Facebook said the reason why we're shutting these accounts down is because they posted an article and the link back to the article went back to their website, and on their website was an advertisement. So we're shutting that down. Folks, this has got to stop. So we got control of the House and control of the Senate. So we got this ability to push these things forward to finally make a fair and level playing field. And I preach about this all the time. We've got to have a fair and level playing field, because if we don't, we will be pushed into submission. Absolutely shut out and pushed into submission. They can't take, the liberals, they can't understand and they can't take how we have connected, how Donald Trump has united. Somebody said over the week that Donald Trump hijacked the party. Donald Trump hijacked the entire situation with the Republican Party in order to get his agenda through, which is make America great again. I'm like, that's fine. If that's what it took for things to happen, so be it. But hijacking the GOP has been an uphill battle. I mean, you talking about slaying a dragon. Uphill battle. Thank goodness Reince Priebus is out of this thing. I mean, I'm just saying. So anyways, with that being said, we've got to stand up against these. Put the calls into your senators and your congressmen. We've got to stand up these big tech bullies. They're coming out and they're talking about what they're doing. They're being bold and brazen. I told you about Claire McCaskill. We've got some video on her with Project Veritas. And we've also got we've got this Nancy Pelosi. Have you guys seen Nancy Pelosi here lately? She's losing her mind. Nancy Pelosi is hitting it hard here recently. And check this out, Nancy Pelosi and the violence that is the Democrat Party. Nope. Number 1. There we go.
If there's some collateral damage for some.
As a suspicious letter believed to contain a lethal substance was delivered to her home in Bangor this week.
Scary moments for Republican Adam Laxalt. A man from Virginia is accused of grabbing Laxalt's campaign manager so hard it left bruises on her body.
On Monday night, we told you about a reported assault on Shane Meekland, a Republican running for the Minnesota House. He says he suffered a concussion.
The county's Republican Party headquarters in downtown Laramie is back open for business.
This just after 3 weeks ago when someone apparently set fire to it.
Authorities are looking into another reported attack on a Minnesota politician. Republican State Representative Sarah Anderson says a man punched her in the arm.
Colorado Republican Senator Cory Gardner's office says someone texted his wife a video of a beheading.
If there's some collateral damage, so be it.
Stop them. Vote Republican. Stop the mob. Jobs, not mobs. And that's what this whole thing is all about, folks. We've got to stand up and we've got to speak out. And again, I was talking about the NPC crowd. Let's go back to that real quick. The NPC crowd, these folks that are chanting all kinds of nonsense, chanting, repeating back, just mindless drones. That's what the Democrat Party has become. These mindless drones, this NPC crowd. Non-playable computer, non-player computer. Here, I'm going to get into this real quick because I think this is really, really important. Last show last week, we actually talked about it at the end of the show. We wrapped up the show with Carrie and I talking about the NPC crowd. And ironically, it wasn't in the stack of stuff, but it did come up. And this week, it's been huge. It's been big news. So I'm really happy to be able to talk about that. I'm learning as a Gen Xer. All these new things that are coming out. I had no idea what the NPC thing was, but the Democrat Party has hijacked it. And I'm calling it the non-player community. Like they don't even want to play the game. They just are entitled to anything and everything they want. That's the Democrat Party. The non-person or the non-person community. You just are who you get whatever you want. You don't have to work. You don't have to do nothing for it. So real quick, this is by Black Pigeon Speaks. Ironically, BPS on YouTube. And if you're listening, Black Pigeon Speaks, BPS is actually my initials, Brian Paul Smith. Go figure. So anyways, this is what the Democrat Party has become, this non-playable computer. I hope I'm saying it right. But here, it's kind of hard to hear if you're listening to this audio only without the visuals. But the very beginning of this clip, you're going to hear a lot of voices that sound almost like they're talking over each other. But what it really is it's all these different news outlets. And they're saying the exact same words. Folks, this is freaky. It is identical, word for word. And I'm not talking 5. I'm not talking 3. I'm not talking 10. I'm talking 50 to 75. For those of you who are watching video, you'll be able to see it. For those of you at home, if it sounds like a mess conglomerate of stuff, It's not. It's just a lot of news reporters talking over themselves, becoming, they all have become the NPC people. So check this out real quick.
Extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
That was 9 different outlets right there.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda.
That's 35 news outlets saying the exact same thing.
Exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Censorious social media and the fragile snowflakes that work in these bubbles have finally put their foot down. They will no longer tolerate anyone who uses or tries to disseminate the N-word. And no, I'm not talking about racial slurs. I'm talking about this guy. This is the NPC, or the non-playable character, and believe it or not, this simple meme has absolutely unnerved not only the usual suspects of rabid Marxist fanatics, but also those that seek social affirmation via groupthink and repetitious and scripted talking points, as well as adhering to a contrived rather than a derived worldview.
Okay, so this morning I was talking with my daughter over breakfast, and I've talked about this before, and I couldn't find the visual, and I'm looking for it right now. But let me paint the picture for you folks. Imagine this visual, and we're talking about individuals and the way individual human beings think about themselves, and the way individuals think about other people thinking about themselves. So if you take a big giant circle, and in the center of that circle is one single person. The big outer shell of that circle, the big outer layer, is what you and I, what we like to project and what we think that people see us as. This is what we do and how we behave and what we think, honestly think, that people think of us as. Now, if you go inside that layer to the inner layer, one layer in, that layer, that's what people actually see us as. Okay? So a lot of times people get that skewed. They think that they are projecting this XYZ image, but in reality, we all see you for something different. Now, if those two align, that's fine. But normally, people will project an outwardly appearance, and then inside that layer is what people actually really see you as. Inside that layer is what you see yourself as. Now, if that does not match up with the outer layer of what you're trying to project, you're starting to have a problem. You're starting to get conflict in there and starting to have some issues. And the inner core, the very center of that, is where you are as a whole. It's who you truly are right there in the middle. That is all that you are. And most of the time, the majority of people are never able to see that, never able to see exactly who they are in the center. They block it out. They don't want to see it. Sometimes it's too painful to see. But if you want to become a better person and take personal responsibility of yourself, you've got to see your inner core for who you are and then make a change so that it matches up with who you think you are, and it matches up with what people see you as to be, and then that matches up with how you think you're projecting yourself and how you want people to see. So if all those line up, you got a person like Donald Trump. If all those line up, you've got somebody that's some of the evangelical leaders that are just phenomenal leaders. I'm not talking to Catholic Church. I'm talking about some of the universities that with some of the very good Christian leaders that live the talk the talk and walk the walk. The guys and the girls and the women that really do exactly what they say, and they become who they are. They are their inner core all the way to the core. Not some of these Jim and Tammy Baker. Tammy Baker. they back in the day, for some of you older folks, you might remember that. That's when I was a youth. But anyhow, I'm just saying. So if you went and sat down with Donald Trump and you actually had a talk with Donald Trump, he would be the person that you thought he was, and he would be the person that he thinks he is, and he would be the person that he wants you to see him as. He would be the person that is at the center, the core of who he really is, and he can see that. So I'm talking about this to my daughter, and I said, I'm trying to explain Democrats to her, and I'm trying to use this analogy, and I'm writing on the chalkboard, and here's the analogy, folks. These NPC Democrats that are mind-drone Democrats. First off, for an example, you know, some of those people who go on the America's Got Talent or the singing show where you go and you try and sing, and the epic fail, the guy hung that actually cut an album. He was so awful that it was funny. He was so awful. These people that go on the show and fail miserably, and they're crushed into tears. And some of them are even crushed so much and they get angry and they fight back and they say, "You suck. I don't suck. It's you that sucks." And they run away saying that I'm going to be famous. I don't need you. And they run away. Although we all listened, they heard that they were awful. Here's the problem. This is the Democrat liberal mentality. Here's the problem, folks. These people cannot see their core. They cannot see who they really truly are, and that they need practice, or that they don't have a talent, but they desire that talent and they don't want to admit it. So they live in the outer shell. They live in the outer shell of projecting who they want you to see them as. Hillary Clinton. She wants you, or her NPC followers, to see her as a women for champion that champion women's rights. When in reality, we know, see the outer shell, Hillary Clinton trying to tell us who she is, and she thinks she's one of the worst. She really, truly believes that what she sees herself as, you see that too. And there's a disconnect when people like us see her for who she is. And so she has this disconnect, this electrical, two wires connected, and so you got a short circuit. It doesn't compute. But we see her for who she really is, and that abusing, whether the bimbo eruptions and Monica Lewinsky and putting her down, and all the women that blew up back in the day. She is not a champion of women's rights, that's for sure. And we see that clearly for who she is. So inside that shell, who does Hillary Clinton see herself as? Well, that's the problem. I honestly believe that she's such the narcissist, and Barack Obama as well, and all these players, that they've lied to themselves for so long. They've been told and this also goes for those Hollywood elites that try to tell you who to vote for. They've been lied to the people around them for so long that they truly, truly believe the lies. And then they project that out as to who they are. And they believe that that's the game they got to play. Never getting to the core. So you can see the levels, and you can see how they disconnect. They don't match up. It's like magnets, polar opposite, pushing against each other, pulling together and pushing against each other. And they cause havoc. It wreaks havoc. Now, some of these people who break down into tears, like Brandon Strucka said that he broke down and cried after Hillary Clinton lost. You guys have seen the epic videos where you got these snowflakes that were completely crushed and crying, and you had no idea why. If you've ever seen some of the videos when North Korean leader died, both of them died, Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il, the father and grandfather of Kim Jong-un, when the father and grandfather both died, respectively, you had crowds of people wailing away and crying and slapping their shoes against the ground and stuff and just into convulsions. And it looks like some kind of hysterical insanity. It's not like crying like you lost a loved one. It's like crying because Jesus Christ died and is never coming back. Imagine that. Imagine Jesus Christ dying and never coming back. Like he wasn't the savior of the world. However, we know he is. That's why we don't cry like that. But these people, they don't know Jesus. They don't have a savior. So they project that onto these people. Now, I'm not getting too far off subject, but here's the reason why they cry and wail away and utter hysteric and insanity, almost like a temper tantrum. Here's why they do that. They do that because they're going through an identity crisis. They're having a paradigm shift. They're going through an identity crisis where their identity doesn't line up with what they believed and were told. That Barack Obama was the second coming. Our savior, Jamie Foxx, our savior, Barack Hussein Obama. No, I'm sorry. He's not, and he's nowhere to be found. Once again, I will remind you of that. He is nowhere to be found. So these folks are having a paradigm shift. Well, first off, they're having an identity crisis. If they identify it, which Brandon Strucka did, he identified his identity crisis. And he got mad. And he used that anger, and Anthony Robbins talks about this, use that anger for positive. Help it push you and push you into a paradigm shift. To where you start to think about things a little bit differently. You start to question yourself. You start to question whether you're right or wrong. You start to question your leaders. I'm speaking to you, Democrats. I'm talking to you. For those of you who are in tears and in mourning because Hillary Clinton lost, it's time to wake up. That's not reality. That was a complete and total facade. It was a farce. It was fake. Fake news propped up on the notion that for some reason and somehow she deserved to be president of the United States for no other damn reason other than her president, she was married to the president. So nobody can come up with any quality that qualifies Hillary Clinton to become president of the United States of America. She doesn't hold one single quality. Yet you believed that she should be president. And now that the Russia has gone and been derailed and been exposed for the crime of the coup, the sedition, borderline treason, because tactically if you're in a coup, you're at war. It was a bloodless coup. It was a silent coup at one point in time, but now been exposed. Documents are out. All the signs point. Judges in D.C. are now looking at documents and saying that, yes, we've been defrauded and lied to by evidence presented from Hillary. Yes, folks, this happened this week. So here's the whole point of this all, though. I don't want to get too far off subject. Here's the whole point of this. If they can get to where they're starting to have a paradigm shift. If you can get to a point where you're thinking about things differently and shift your paradigm, because you've got a misconception of a concept with the Democrat Party. This world is not fair. It will never be fair. This world has evil in it, and you will never rid this world of evil, true evil. The meek shall inherit the earth. That's not good. That's not good. It's because the evil ones are leading the meek around like sheep. That was kind of a misconception in the Bible. The meek shall inherit the earth. The meek are the NPC people. The non-playable, it's a non-playable character. the non-playable character, the drones, the mindless drones, the meek. That's not good. We got to move past that and start talking to these people about what's real. And what's real is getting to your core belief of who you are. Where do you get your morals from? Where are you going to be in another year? What are your goals? Do you have family goals? Do you have what is your agenda? What is your ultimate goal? Whether it be in politics or be in life. Yeah, you got to understand, folks, there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, and a lot of people that are looking for the answer right now more than ever. You heard that testimony from the black woman who had a paradigm shift and walked away from the Barack Obama. The campaign for Barack Obama, went door to door making phone calls and had a paradigm shift and walked away. We need to embrace those people and bring them into what is now known as the Donald J. Trump party. We are the Trump party. We are the Trump party inside the Republican Party, the big tent party, the moderates, the conservatives, the Tea Party, the patriots, the military veterans that have fought for our country. We don't put up with the Colin Kaepernicks of the world. We will not be bullied into submission. That lifestyle or that way of life, we will not go down as the cuck. I'm sorry, we will not be cuckified by the Democrat Party no longer. So real quick, what happened? See, I want to get into the numbers of what's going on with the midterms and what is really, really happening. Donald Trump was in Montana this week, quote, saying, "We are not going to have companies leave the United States anymore." Mox tester, NRA D rating. We're in Montana. How can he get any votes? So for those of you in Montana, no. Tester's bad. Democrats produce mobs. Republicans produce jobs. Loretta Lynch was out, said voter ID laws designed to intimidate. It's the same old rhetoric, folks. It's old and it's tiresome. Voter ID laws designed to intimidate. You know what Loretta Lynch was designed to intimidate? You. The Democrat Party is designed to intimidate. You have no new ideas. You have no core ideas other than hate, anger, name-calling, intimidation. We're not putting up with it any longer. Cassidy said it's time to push back against the left's thuggery. Beto down there in Texas. Oh, my goodness. Beto. Texas should lead national conversation for gun control. What? In Texas? Oh, man. It looks like Ted Cruz is up 8 points over Beto. I don't know how that is actually possible, that Beto's even as close as 8 points to Ted Cruz. And I don't know if you heard this week, but apparently Beto went to California to raise money for his Senate run in Texas. This is insanity, y'all. This is crazy. If you're not walking away from the Democrat Party, I don't know what you're doing. Honestly, I don't know what you're doing. White House, John Kelly and John Bolton, both of them, we are arguing best response to Democrats' open border agenda. Trump's Republicans must make border 2018 issue. Not only that, make 2018 the border, make that the issue, and it has become the issue. The Democrats are trying to run away from the Kavanaugh so fast because they still have not dealt with the fallout, the gravity of the fallout of Kavanaugh. That in itself was a nuclear bomb on the Democrat Party, the Kavanaugh issue. Now they're trying to distance themselves and run away from it. And then also run away from the porn star's lawyer. This Avenatti, he absolutely wrecked himself. He wrecked the Kavanaugh thing. He wrecked the Democrat Party. He wrecked it like it ain't never been wrecked before. So thank you, Avenatti, for that. Much appreciated it, buddy. But so now they're trying to run away from that. George Soros and the likes funding the 4,000 migrants coming up here from Honduras. I was led to believe, I was under the impression that the leader of that organization had been somehow had been arrested. I was under the impression that the leader of the migrant moving this way north was arrested in Mexico under the pressure of Donald Trump. Trump saying that we're going to pull the money. We will give your country no money, no aid, no support. This has got to stop. It's got to stop now. This, folks, I don't see how this ends well. This doesn't end well for anybody. We are being attacked with a mob of 4,000, maybe even more. It looked like more on the bridge. There's a big bridge where they're crossing into Mexico. To me, it looked like 10,000 plus. But I'm thinking about I'm looking for the video. There was a video on the crowd, and there was a video on the crowd that showed the crowd being paid. Let's see if we got that, Mr. Producer. That showed the crowd was being paid, speaking in Spanish. Yeah, that's right there. Come on, man. It's right there. Okay, so here's the crowd down in there, and I'm gonna lower the volume for those of you on audio only. I'm gonna lower the volume, and then I'm gonna read the transcribed words on the clip. So for those of you watching video, you'll be able to see. It starts out saying, women, only women first, and he's handing out cash in this crowd of migrants that's supposed to be moving north. Where they're getting this money from? The billionaires of the world, the sources of the world, the UN, George Soros, the billionaires that want the one world order. This is not... this isn't a joke anymore. This is real. This isn't underground stuff. Why do you think they had to unperson, InfoWars, Alex Jones? Why do you think they had to unperson him? Because he was speaking, some of his stuff he was speaking about truth to power. He's really exposing them for being what they really are. And this is the migrants coming up. And roll the clip. Only men. Okay. Too fast. So he says, women only, women first. Only the women first. Same thing is being said in the background. So multiple people are saying women first, women first. Means let's keep it moving. Get out. Walk. Walking forward. Thank you. In a woman's voice. Handing out cash to children. Come this way or we lose them. Let's go, girl. Keep it moving, handing out cash. The women already received it. Cash is being handed out. There it is. Guy's got a stack of cash, handing it out to the women and children that are standing in line, the migrants. I mean, you got to see this crowd, folks. I mean, where do they go to the bathroom? Where do they sleep? Where they eat? I mean, when you're migrating like this in the tune of 4,000, the amount of food that you would need, the amount of water that you would need to keep from dehydrating, I'm shocked that there's not a water truck with an outhouse on it. But think about that. There it is. He's saying, there it is. There it is. Handing out cash. Well-dressed, Hispanic-looking gentleman handing women cash. All done. No more cash. All done. Oh, no, he's still handing out cash, but they said all done. So this is what we're talking about. This is what the Democrats are running on. They're running on the caravan as if this is a good thing. This is awful. This is wretched. This doesn't bring sympathy to anyone in America. Nobody has sympathy for this. This is awful. This is absolutely going to backfire on the Democrat Party. This is why the red wave, the tsunami is going to happen. Now let's get into the numbers, folks. Let's get into what's real. Here's what's going on. Adam Scott says, Adam Scott, the creator of Dilbert, who does some incredible artwork for Trump, MAGA movement, he says it's going to be the greatest turnout by the GOP maybe ever in the midterms. Absolutely stoked, folks. Trump in the Senate. I already said that. Break judicial record. Press forward ahead of midterms. Red wave rising. Now, here's how we know, not with the polls. Here's how we know that there is going to be a red wave and possibly a tsunami. And it's not hard to see. So what has happened is that some of the guys on the inside, some of the folks are on the inside, they can see the amount of ballot requests for absentee ballots, the requests for absentee ballots, and they can see the returns for absentee ballots. As it stands right now, the Democrat request and return combined of absentee ballots for 2018 is below that of 2016 for Barack Obama, for Hillary Clinton versus Trump. That's understandable. This is a midterm. That's going to happen. That usually happens even more so in the Republican Party, the one who just actually won the presidential election. The midterms, they wane, they kind of fall back, and they usually lose seats. But because of the Antifa attitude that the Democrat leaders have embodied, that they are, the Democrats, they are Antifa, meaning they are fascist. They want a silent speech, and they want NPCs everywhere to follow them like mind-drone, numb zombies. Okay? So what has happened with the Republican Party? The Republican request for absentee ballots, the Republican return for absentee ballots has exceeded 2016. Exceeded 2016. 2018 midterms have exceeded 2016. The vote for Trump. I'm beside myself. Those are numbers. That's real, raw data that you can sink your teeth into and tell everybody at the water cooler when you see them tomorrow. You tell them, you say, look at the numbers. Look at what's real. Requests for absentee ballots and returns for absentee ballots. The Republican Party is exceeding those numbers beyond 2016's numbers, and the Democrat Party is failing to even match the 2016 numbers. There's a huge shift for the Trump Party. There's a huge shift in people's mindset of what's real and what's right. The folks that are down the middle of the road, they're not buying into this. They're not buying into the Antifa. They're not buying into this migrant crowd. And the more that you Democrats push this hate, anger, and this migrant crowd, the more that you push this, the more that we're going to push back. The more that the wall's going to be built. Hashtag build that wall. I'm serious. At build that wall on Twitter. We had them here on the show. Phenomenal what they're doing. Crowdsourcing, crowd raising, using a GoFundMe type crowdsourcing to raise money to help pay for the wall. Just getting started with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Donald Trump has already said in some of his rallies this week that they've been spending up to $1 billion, maybe more than $1 billion on building the wall, border security. We need to beef it up, and we need to start building that wall like there's nobody business. Not only that, but we're not building that wall for Mexico. We're not building that wall for migrants. And we're not building that wall for American citizens. Make no bones about it. That wall is being built for the Democrat Party to remind them that we won, and you will no longer be allowed to import new voters. Sorry, man. Those days are done. Those days are over. We've got to put the nail in the coffin with this Democrat Party. We've got to show them that their ideologies and the way of life are headed to Venezuela by nailing it closed in the midterms. We've got to absolutely shut this down so hard and push them back so far that the chances of recovery would have to be recovery under a different ideology and a different way of life, because they've been rejected by mainstream America so hard. So I'm absolutely excited about that. These Trump 2018 midterms are right here. The prominent electoral prognosticator. The GOP's chances are suddenly looking better. What? Charlie Cook, quote, one question that keeps coming back up is whether those who led the out-of-control demonstrations on Capitol Hill against Kavanaugh's nomination have any understanding of how much damage they did to the Democrats. Do you guys know how much damage you did to the Democrat Party? I don't think you'll ever know. The gravity of the damage that I don't think you'll ever know. We'll know. We'll know here in 2018. So polls shows that Marsha Blackburn leads the Democrat Phil Bredesen in Tennessee. And in Minnesota, billionaires Trump impeachment push grows in midterm run-up. Liberal billionaire Tom Steiner claims to be building a juggernaut political operation in support of impeaching President Trump, rallying the base and creating a digital army for the cause, even as Democrat lawmakers remain publicly divided over the issue. Kevin Mack, quote, we're not going away. The lead strategists need to impeach. He told Fox News, we're going to hold President Trump accountable. So that's what you got to look forward to. You think Brett Kavanaugh was wretched and awful? You think that was rough? Whew, you ain't seen nothing yet. You wait till these Democrats get a hold of the House or the Senate. It is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be Kavanaugh every day, every night. They're going to punish us and punish us and punish us for pushing them back and letting them know their ideologies do not belong here in America. Your ideologies align with those of Stalin, with those of communist ideologies, with those of Hugo Chavez, and those in Venezuela. That is not the capitalist ideologies that has made America so great, so successful, and has continued to this economy. I can't stop talking about this economy enough, folks. The economy, it is out of control. The hiring, there are 1 million more jobs than there are people actually looking for work. That doesn't even make any sense, man. It's upside down on its head. And it's just moving forward and moving fast. Rising tides raise all ships. Great leaders know that, and Donald Trump knew that. He knew to help the tide, create a playing field to where businessmen can create more, invent more, buy more, expand and grow and push forward. And today, this week, Donald Trump was talking about building highways. It takes 22 years of regulations to build a highway. We want that in 2 years. We want them to be able to build a highway in 2 years, not in 22 years. And that's deregulation. That's his administration, his deregulation administration. And I couldn't be happier with it. It's a time to really be excited. And here's what the Democrats are doing. This is Claire McCaskill. Project Veritas, James O'Keefe this week, Project Veritas, has exposed Claire McCaskill to be so awful and so wretched, such a liar, with undercover video of her speaking and undercover video of her staff speaking as James O'Keefe really hammers this home. This is so exciting to have James O'Keefe doing what he does to expose the liberal hypocrisy. Donald Trump up on Capitol Hill slaying that dragon. James O'Keefe slaying the dragon down here on the ground. Us here in Smyth Radio World helping to get the word out and expose all the Democrat hypocrisy using the hard work that James O'Keefe, and rightfully giving him credit for it. He deserves all the credit. He's been a great patriot, a great American, and he's a good friend of the show. Absolutely love James O'Keefe. To expose the liberal Democrats for who they are. And this is a long clip. This is the whole clip. But I'm not going to play the whole clip. I'm going to play probably the first 3 minutes or so of the clip that James O'Keefe has up on YouTube of Claire McCaskill. If there are areas where you can't hear them speak and it's been subtitled, I'll just speak it for you for those audio only who can't hear it. So this is Claire McCaskill, Democrat out of Missouri, being exposed as an absolute fraud. Project Veritas.
So, what were you telling me last night about Planned Parenthood?
How they don't donate to Claire because they don't want to ostracize pro-life Democrats in Missouri.
So the undercover journalist says, so what is it about Planned Parenthood? Yes, I tweeted this out, folks. Planned Parenthood has a super PAC on the side that actually collects money from Planned Parenthood and others, and the super PAC then donates to Democrats in conservative states. Fact.
So, but they still somehow get us money?
They put it through like different organizations.
Yeah, I think it's like a tactic just to not make them too far left to try to get the moderate voters.
But we're still going to support abortion, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more of them not they go through other means to support and give the money. They just don't directly give the money from their PACs.
Oh.
It's like we have to lie to get elected.
Essentially.
Well, if we elect enough Democrats, we'll get some gun safety stuff done.
That's Claire McCaskill. If we elect enough Democrats, we can get gun safety stuff done. Gun safety stuff is gun control.
Well, McCaskill's trying to bill herself as a moderate, which she is not. A new undercover video from Veritas is exposing the senator as anything but.
You also said, Nick, in this later part of the video, that you take money from Planned Parenthood indirectly and that's effing beautiful.
I've got a large body of work that is bipartisan, that does accomplish things that matter for Missouri families. I'm one of the few senators left that's not afraid to call myself a moderate.
Planned Parenthood doesn't donate to Claire. Yeah, I think it's like a tactic just to not make them too far left to try to get the moderate voters.
But we're still going to support.
This is a regional field director for Senator Claire McCaskill. Regional field director.
Working, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like we have to lie to get elected.
Essentially.
No, I'm sorry, Claire isn't available right now. No, she's not here.
This is James O'Keefe speaking for those of you audio only.
No, she won't be available tomorrow either. Politicians are notorious for saying one thing in public and then doing something entirely different once they get elected into office. Senator Claire McCaskill has turned this into an art form. This time, we talk about how she does it when it comes to her funding. See, in order to win in a state like Missouri, where Donald Trump won by nearly 20 points in 2016, the politician has to become a master in the art of the old bait and switcheroo.
Something that Darcy found out the other day is that Planned Parenthood will never donate money to Claire, even though she's very pro-choice, because they don't want to ostracize those pro-life Democrats that might not vote for her.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's Planned Parenthood funding.
So they just funnel it through Emily's list?
I'll text you.
Probably.
Okay.
They go through other means to get us that money. But they specifically will not donate to us.
So, what were you telling me last night about Planned Parenthood?
How they don't donate to Claire because they don't want to ostracize pro-life Democrats in Missouri.
So, but they still somehow get us money?
They put it through different organizations.
Nick Starost explains how Planned Parenthood hides their financial support from McCaskill, so the senator can try to maintain a moderate image to moderate voters.
I'm pretty sure they donate through different means of whatever, through whether it's through Emily's list or whether it's through something else.
And that's because their name is so polarizing.
Yep.
It keeps the pro-life people from knowing, or the pro-life Dems from like...
Unless they go deep down into campaign, like finance, which most people just do not.
Right.
And like the people that do, that are actively looking for that, aren't going to be voting for it anyway, let's be honest.
Right.
So yeah.
So yeah, all right, so it's to keep the Planned Parenthood name off of the thing, but we still get the dough.
Yep.
Nice. I love that stuff. I love it.
It's great when it works for us. Let's be honest.
Sterow seems quite proud that the McCaskill campaign is doing something wrong and getting away with it. Our journalist proceeded to corroborate the story with Grace Richardson, a senior campaign official with the Claire McCaskill campaign.
So I'm still trying to wrap my head around that thing Nick was talking about the other day, that Planned Parenthood won't donate to us.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why. I don't get it.
I think it's the same with like Obama not endorsing any red state Democrats. It's so that that Democrat isn't coming off as too like leftist establishment.
The other thing Claire McCaskill's doing, remember I mentioned, totally swampy. She's trying to have the best of both worlds. So she can go to a community and say, well, I don't take any money from Planned Parenthood, or her staff can say that, and that lets people say, oh, well, that's good. She's a different kind of Democrat. Except it's not true, right? I mean, the point is, she's playing both two-faced to try to hold voters. And again, in Missouri, people are not buying it anymore. They're looking through that. They want answers. They want them up front, and they're going to be very interested about what they're seeing here.
Yeah, I think it's like a tactic just to like not make them too far left to try to get the moderate voters.
But we're still going to support abortion, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more of like them not like, they go through other means to support and give the money. They just don't directly give the money from there like PACs.
Oh. So basically, we're still going to protect a woman's right to choose.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We just got to kind of.
She did it.
What's that?
I don't think I could work for Claire if she did it.
Right.
I'd probably.
Me neither. Yeah. It's a big deal for me too.
Richardson tells our journalist that Planned Parenthood goes through, quote, other means to support and give the money, unquote.
I don't know why Republicans are so against Planned Parenthood, but whatever.
She doesn't know why Republicans are so against Planned Parenthood. It's called murder.
Yeah, so like the name is toxic to some.
To some.
Okay.
Okay, so that's more than I should have played. But anyways, folks, at least you know that it's out there. That's James O'Keefe absolutely hammering the Democrats, as exposing them as liars that they are. Absolutely exposing them as liars that they are. This is out of control. We need to take back our country, and we do it peacefully by walking away. Get your walk away t-shirt, folks. Walk away. We'll be in D.C. next weekend. Carrie and I with Smyth Radio, Military Veteran Talk Radio. Share the show. Crush to share, crush to follow. And next weekend, we will be in D.C. with Brandon Strucka, talking with other regular, just average Joe Americans that just want their country back. We want our freedom back, and we want all this hate and anger. I could go to do a whole show about Planned Parenthood. I mean, why are they so against Planned Parenthood? Remember, James O'Keefe was the one that went undercover and exposed Planned Parenthood as buying and selling body parts of babies. Yes, buying and selling fetus. It's true. It can't even get more gruesome than that. Oh, and there's a new movie coming out by Michelle Malkin, who put this together, called, I don't know if I can see it. I don't know if I can watch it. And there might be a lot of people who can't watch it. The movie's called Gosnell. If you got a short memory and you don't remember, Gosnell was the abortion doctor. Yeah, probably the number one mass, not mass murder, but probably the number one serial murderer in America of all time. Gosnell. Boy, they Planned Parenthood and Democrat Party, they want to sweep that under the rug real quick. Get rid of that. Don't do that. But Michelle Malkin's got a new movie out called Gosnell that really goes down the road and exposes the abortion factory that is out there in America. It's genocide. It's wretched. It's awful. And why does Claire McCaskill have to lie about her ties to Planned Parenthood? Why? And why does Planned Parenthood still donate to her? Why? To attempt to take over the Democrat Party, to take over the attempt to take over our country and to push their agenda. And that's what we got to stop, folks. We absolutely have to stop that. This is a video that I'm about ready to wrap it up here real quick, but this is a video. I just want to show this. It's not new. It came out a week and a half ago, and it's actually kind of an older video, but it's something that is starting to make the rounds. And I had it queued up for us to play it on the show, but we didn't get a chance to play it. But this is Nancy Pelosi, and this is the tactics of the Democrat Party right here. This is their tactics at work. This is Nancy Pelosi explaining, and I apologize for not playing it when we had it. We've had this video for almost over a week and a half. But this is Nancy Pelosi, and this is your Democrat Party.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap and all the rest. And then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, the politics of personal destruction.
That is actually out of her words on C-SPAN. That is what she actually said on C-SPAN, folks. That's not a joke. That is for reals. And real quick, once again, if you're just joining the show, this is the GOP's latest video out. The GOP put out a video, and this must be played for everyone everywhere, guys. This is the GOP putting out this video about the two worlds that you could have. You could have one of two worlds. You could have the Republican or you could have the Democrat. You could have the good or you could have the bad. And this is just so powerful. You got to share this with your friends. We have two choices on November 6th. The GOP's America.
We are in an economic boom that most folks thought was impossible. We have penetrated the 1% to 2% so-called secular stagnation zone.
Average hourly earnings up by 2.8%.
Near record levels of consumer and business confidence.
The second quarter GDP growth is impressive, 4.1%.
The lowest unemployment rate since December of 1969.
The American core economy is on fire. It's on fire like it was in the 60s.
Or the left's America. Bloodied, beaten, battered.
Tortured live on Facebook.
They go low, we kick. Stand down!
That's when civility can start again.
Jobs, not mobs. Jobs, not mobs, folks. Jobs, not mobs. Hashtag walkaway. Get your walkaway t-shirts. Go visit U.S. Minority on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow U.S. Minority on Twitter. Go back, I think it was 2 shows ago, we had Brandon Strucka on the show. You can go to Vimeo.com, Vimeo, just like video, but without the D, put an M, Vimeo.com. If you have the Roku, the Fire Stick, you can get Vimeo on your TV in your house, and so you can watch the show live while sitting in your living room. You can invite us into your living room, have us in your living room, have it turned on, maybe turn the sound down a little bit and have some friends over and hang out, have some chips and some drinks, watch the show, turn the sound back up because you want to hear what we got to say. So, but you're listening, if this is the first time been on the show, you listen to Smyth Radio, Military Veteran Talk Radio. And normally my cousin Kerry would be here. He is very ill right now with the flu. So we're praying that he gets a fast, quick recovery, because we will be in D.C. this coming weekend with Brandon Strucka and the entire crew. The entire march will be scoping. We'll be doing interviews. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend coming up in D.C. I'm absolutely excited. I'm beside myself. I'm so excited that we get to do this. And jobs, not mobs. So we're looking at here's some other numbers real quick about the 2018 midterm. Back about 3 months ago, some of the numbers were showing that Democrats were going to pick up 40 to 50 seats in the House. That sounds like a lot, and it is. It is a lot, and they would have actually taken over the House if they did that, 40 to 50 seats. Now, some of the newer numbers coming out saying that they're only poised to take 20 to 30 seats. Folks, that's a drop by half. Some of the numbers I was talking about, the poll numbers, they were talking about who's in more lockstep with mainstream America, Democrats or Republicans. Republicans edged up a couple of points. They went from like 49 to 52. And the Democrats went from 54 to 37. This was taken maybe about a month ago. Now ask that poll again today. You're not going to get that poll. Where's Barack Obama? I keep asking. Anybody know where Barack Hussein Obama is? Where is Barack Hussein Obama? Where is Obama at? There's a reason why he's not here. There's a reason why he's not campaigning, folks. Look at the Clintons. I welcome the Clintons back up on the trail. They're going back on the trail. It's no good. People don't want they don't want them. They don't want Hillary Clinton. There was a recent get-together with Hillary Clinton and some other folks. A lady handed Hillary Clinton a book, and I posted this video up on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, @BrianPSmith, I will do my best to follow you back. If I don't follow you back right away, be patient. If not, DM me, direct message me, and I'll follow you back. I will not get offended. I absolutely will follow you back. So I posted this video up on Twitter of Hillary Clinton. The woman signed the book and gave her book to Hillary Clinton. And Clinton looked at it and put it all the way up to it. Like her eyes were inches away from the book. Hillary's got those special glasses again. Hillary is not well, y'all. Hillary is not well. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that to be, wow, we dodged a bullet. Could you imagine that thing if that was president? That should motivate you to go out, 1, and vote. 2, go out and tell your friends and your family about this. November 6th. I was talking to my boss about it. My boss is, you're not conservative enough for me, Brian. I'm like, no, try me. Oh, I'm small government, small this, get the laissez-faire hands off. I'm like, dude, I'm down with you, man. I'm down, downtown Julie Brown, baby. I'm there all day long. No big deal. And so I said, man, you got to get out and vote November 6th. Oh, no, I never do midterm. No. And I talked to his wife, and she said, oh, no, we never do midterm. You got to do midterms. And so I've been hassling them. I hold up the number 6 with my hands, and I keep holding up the number 6 to get their attention. You got to get their attention. They voted Trump. They're from New York. They live in Cincinnati. Y'all got to vote. November 6th. You got to get out and vote. And again, just to reiterate this, not the polling numbers are fading towards Republican red wave. Poll numbers are fading Republican very, very well. A lot of prognosticators that talk about politics and talk about poll numbers and try and gauge the thermometer, if you will, or the crystal ball is what's going on. They're even saying that they're seeing a shift towards Republicans. And now the real numbers for 2018, folks, the real hashtag walk away. I'm going to be there with our cameras in D.C. this weekend. You folks are going to get first-hand knowledge of what D.C. looks like when hashtag walkaway comes to town and we march on D.C. this coming weekend. It's going to be a blast. But here's the real numbers. The real numbers are the amount of requests for Democrat absentee ballots and return of absentee ballots are below 2016's numbers, which is normal. This is not a presidential election. This is not the Hillary Clinton email scandal and the James Comeys of the world. This isn't the Donald Trumps and the ramp up of Russia. This isn't none of that. This is just midterms, y'all. This is midterms. So that's normal. Request for Republican ballots. Return for Republican absentee ballots. The requests and the returns are beyond 2016 numbers. Folks, you don't need the tea leaves to read what's happening. That's insane. Those are big numbers. That's real data. That's raw, real data. They're talking right now that Republicans have been voting early and outpacing Democrats in the early vote. That's raw, real data. That's good stuff. That's what we need for a red tide. That's what we need for the red wave. That's what we need for a tsunami. Folks, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Go check out the Trump prophecies. Check out the Trump prophecies. If you have not heard about the Trump prophecies, new movie coming to Anytown, USA. New movies that are coming out. The Trump prophecies. A regular Joe, firefighter, had to retire, was ill, had a vision from God, and wrote the vision down. Wrote it down in 2006, and the vision was to him that a man would be elected and would return, restore America, bring America closer to Israel, literally make America great again, bring back, boost up the Christian community once again. There would be a revitalization of the America that we know, the America that was founded, our founding fathers on Judeo-Christianity, the law and order, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the remaking and refounding of America all over again. There would be a man that would do that. That was in his vision. 2008 came and went. 2012 came and went. And he believed in 2012 that it was Mitt Romney. He honestly believed it was Mitt Romney. However, there are a lot of problems with Mitt Romney. And in his vision, he didn't understand it, and it just didn't make any sense. And as he pushed forward, and time went on, he said he saw the video when Donald Trump announced his run for President of the United States of America. And he went to the church, he went to the leaders, and he'd already been talked with the leaders about his vision during Mitt Romney's run, and it didn't work out, and things didn't line up, and they didn't throw it away. But once they heard Donald Trump announce his candidacy for President of the United States of America, they were beside themselves because it aligned with his prophecy. It aligned with what God had told him was going to happen. And I'll be darned if everything that he has talked about has not come to fruition. We don't pray to Donald Trump. People prayed to Barack Obama, the Messiah, the next coming. People prayed for Hillary Clinton as the Messiah and the next coming. We as Christians don't pray to Donald Trump. We have our God, big G God. We have our God, Jesus Christ. That's who we pray to. And we thank him for the good things and the miracles and the blessings that he's given us here on earth. We thank him every day and every night. We pray that he helps us grow, become stronger, and become better. And yes, we are sinners and we do bad things, and we ask for his forgiveness. And he said upon that he would forgive us. Donald Trump is not the perfect president. Matter of fact, there is and never will be. There never will be a perfect president. If you ever wanted the perfect president, that would be Jesus Christ on earth. If you made Jesus Christ president, you would have your perfect president. So now, with that being said, and I know I'm kind of beating this in the ground, but again, just a reminder, during the run-up to Donald J. Trump's election, we weren't looking for a perfect president. We were just looking for someone who had our back, for someone who had our voice, for someone that had our beliefs in mind and was going to restore America, the America that we know, the way America was founded. That's what Trump has done. That's what he will continue to do. And as I close out this, I know it's a short Saturday, but I'm missing my co-host. And just as we end this show on this Sunday, I'd like to end this with the prayer that Donald Trump received. Donald Trump has now negotiated the release of 19 prisoners since his presidency. And this, a pastor in Turkey, for speaking about Jesus Christ in Turkey, imprisoned, lucky he didn't lose his life. God was watching over him. This is an example, folks. This is an example that God is watching over him and God is watching over us. And we've got to start to live that way. We've got to start to move that way. And we've got to start to talk that way. So this is the prayer as the pastor had come into the White House. Donald Trump had him in the White House. From release to the White House in 24 hours. Don't think it's ever been done. And here's the prayer for Donald Trump.
Lord God, I ask that you pour out your Holy Spirit on President Trump, that you give him supernatural wisdom to accomplish all the plans you have for this country and for him. I ask that you give him wisdom on how to lead this country into righteousness. I ask that you give him perseverance and endurance and courage to stand for truth. I ask that you protect them from slander, from enemies, from those who would undermine. I ask that you make him a great blessing to this country. Fill him with your wisdom and strength and perseverance. And we bless him. May he be a great blessing to our country. In Jesus' name, we bless you. Amen.
And I just want to pray that the Spirit of the Lord would rest on the President, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and fear of the Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much.
That is our President, Donald J. Trump, making America great again. Folks, get on smythradio.com, crush all the buttons, find out what's going on smythradio.com. While you're on smythradio.com, Donald Trump's Twitter feed is live right there, so you'll never miss a tweet from Donald Trump. You click on it, takes you right to Twitter as if you're watching Twitter live on our website. Listen to us on iHeartRadio. There's a button on the website, smythradio.com, for iHeartRadio. You can watch this show throughout the week on smythradio.com. Share this with your friends and your family. We've got new calendars coming out on Smyth Radio. We've got new T-shirts coming out. We got all kinds of great things. Folks, this is new news media. We are Donald J. Trump's legacy. Donald J. Trump was or is Barack Obama's legacy. And now we will be handed the baton after 2024. We will be handed the baton by Donald J. Trump to carry on his legacy, folks. You and I both, we will be talking about Donald Trump for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years. We will be telling our children, our grandchildren's children about Donald J. Trump and the presidency that happened. The day that prayers were answered and that God got involved and said, okay, you guys are broken enough. You've been beat down enough. And it's time to restore America so the world can see God once again, to glorify God. This is to glorify God. This is to show the world that greatness happens through God, through Jesus Christ, through God. That's the only way it happens, folks. And God has chosen, like he has chosen many people throughout the world and throughout the Bible, unlikely individuals to do his will. And Donald Trump, an unlikely individual, but well qualified, and we absolutely pray for Donald Trump's safety and the godlike wisdom, that supernatural wisdom bestowed upon Donald Trump to make the right decision at the right time in the right place. Obviously, draining the swamp was a phenomenal thing. Still draining it, still removing it. This week, there was another knucklehead that will be going to jail for a long, long time for breaking into top secret information about Paul Manafort and leaking it to the press. That will be dealt with and made example of. So everybody out there, that if you're deep state and you're going to do something wrong, better be sure Donald Trump coming for you. There's no question about that. You will be found out, and you will be taken care of swiftly. So, all right, folks, this is Brian Smith signing off for Smyth Radio, Military Veteran Talk Radio. Share this with your friends and your family. Tell everybody about this. And next Sunday will be the Walk-Away March. Will be the Walk-Away March in Washington, D.C. We will be there, myself and my co-host, Carrie Smith, co-host and cousin, Carrie Smith. We will be there in D.C. Jump on, become a Patreon. $1 gets you into Patreon message meetup group. And for those of you who are current Patreons, by the time that we come out with the new calendars, I am going to send out calendars to all our current Patreons. So if you get on as a Patreon early enough, you may qualify to receive a free calendar like the one that I made last
With
year.
unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable. It's without fathom.
Wow.